What is up, Game Brigade? Welcome back. Today, we are going to be diving into Isofarian Guard, the second printing, which is live on GameFound. We are going to be doing a Should You Back, talking about the campaign, some of the changes, discussing the campaign in total, and giving you guys my final recommendation of whether or not we should be backing this title. So if that sounds like it's something for you, stay tuned for that. Okay, so today is actually the first day for Isofarian Guard's second printing. They reached their goal in 1 hour, so congratulations to Sky Kingdom Games. They are currently at 2,385 backers and just under $300,000. 23 days left in this campaign, so it's going to be on GameFound for a while. So what is Isofarian Guard? Well, this is a solo or cooperative experience for 1 to 2 players. So that's a bit different in terms of our normal player counts we usually talk about on my channel. So make sure you are aware that it is a 1 or 2 player game experience. And in this game, you are going to be taking on the role of an Isofarian Guard in the land of Isofar, where you are normally going to be dealing with Denzians in your region, as well as the people to the south of you who normally are causing problems. But now there is a new emerging threat that you are going to have to investigate and go through a weaving campaign of, I believe, 5 different interweaving campaigns where you're going to play different guards through each of these scenarios and sections, experiencing new gameplay mechanics, as well as intertwining campaign stories. So that is overall what we are going to experience in the game. The gameplay is going to be open world, so you're going to be traveling along this world here. You can see in the middle here, traveling different nodes, experiencing different combat with wildlife or things in the areas. And the combat uses an interesting bag building system. I think we can maybe find that down here. Okay, we kind of have it somewhat similar here. You are going to be drawing tokens from your bag, assigning them to different abilities that you have unlocked, and then taking the action or ability that that card enables, dealing damage to the creature that you're facing. Because of the bag building aspect, the combat is going to require you to kind of think on your feet because you don't know what necessarily you're going to draw as you play. You are going to, of course, try to customize your bag so that your percentage chances of hitting what you want to hit are higher, and you can use your ally to help you build your bag so you can kind of go back and forth to support each other so that people can kind of achieve the goals that they're looking to achieve. So that's kind of the core gameplay aspect of this game, is that bag building system. The AI has a deck that you're going to be drawing from, which will go through a series of actions from top to bottom, adding negative effects to your deck or just dealing damage to you in general. So you're going to have the ability to also draw negatively or poorly from your bag with what they do. So that is overall the gameplay. You're going to be traveling across this open world, experiencing the game in a manner that you see fit, experiencing leveling up your character. You have an entire tech tree to customize your character, which is cool. Getting new equipment, crafting new equipment, upgrading those equipment with different types of gems. It's a whole world of RPG-ness inside this game, which is super cool. So what are we looking at then in terms of what this campaign is offering? Well, the first thing, I can't show you much because they don't really show you here on the page. They don't really cover it. But this is actually, this campaign, one of their main purposes was not only to bring the game back for people who missed the first run, but was also to add in some additional corrections to the game and add some additional content that was kind of highly requested or sought after once people started playing the game and diving into it. So some of those things are going to come in the form of the update pack. If you go down to the add-ons, you'll see the update pack. This is available for people who were previous backers or purchasers on the web store. So if you bought this game through their web store or through the Kickstarter campaign, this is what you're going to be looking for. All the changes that are part of this update pack will be part of the main pledge level. So if you purchase any of these, you're already getting that, so no worry having to buy that separately as well. So what are we going to get inside this that we know of? Well, the first thing is they're going to be changing not all of them, but they're going to be reworking several of these campaign books, the reference paperwork. You're going to be just going through and doing some rework, some retouches, and resyncing of some of the stuff to make things a little bit more smooth and flowing better, which is great for us on that. They're also going to be adding in 100 new event cards. Let me see if I can find a sampling of where those would be. Let me see here. So your event cards are going to be things that you draw. So I know they have it somewhere. Effectively, you have a deck of cards that you're going to draw from, or you're going to draw the top card based on. Oh, here we go. Here's an event card. So when you travel somewhere, if you reveal a compass, you're going to place a gem on top of one of these event cards. And once you have 3 of those gems, you're going to do the event. The original game came with 60 of these events for the 3 different decks. Now we're going to be boosting that up to 160 different events, and they're adding a new region, which is the water region, which is part of the known things. When we come down here to known content, we see that water region. So that's cool that they're adding in some additional content. We're also going to have 4 new plastic covers for those events, as you saw for the gems. I'll show you a picture that I took a screen grab of a video. Here's what the event decks used to look like. You could see the event that you were going to encounter before you encountered it, so you knew what you were going to expect. So now, let me close this. Now you are going to have that covered by those tokens here, by these covers, so you're not going to be expecting or knowing what you're going to get. So that's a cool new change there as well. Another big change is going to be to the Foreteller app. So here we have Foreteller. This was part of the original campaign. It was a full, professionally narrated Foreteller experience. If you don't know what Foreteller is, it basically reads to you the story sequence and story beats of the game, so you don't have to read them yourself. And usually they include sound effects, music, and the professional voice acting. Unfortunately, the first game only included Foreteller narration for the main story quest. So if you did any side quests, you are going to be reading those yourself and referencing the guidebook. But now they are going to be introducing the Foreteller app to the complete suite of quests, doing all that voice work for you. So that's going to be an enhancement experience for you, really bring in the immersion effect. And that's one of the main aspects to Isofarian Guard that I've been hearing from so many people, is the level of immersion that this game brings you into the world and brings you into the story. So there's a big +1 there. The other thing that's kind of cool, and I don't know necessarily if this is part of the original game, but was the rule pop. This was a kind of a cool system. Let me see if I can mute this. I'm not sure if it's going to be. No, it's not going to be here. The rule pop is a app that is going to be a rules reference that you can download on your phone, and you can actually search key terms and keywords for things that you might have questions on, so you don't have to dig through the rule book or use the reference guides in the book. You can actually use an app and click on a key term that maybe you have a question on. The other cool part about the rule pop is you can also transport your campaign information there, so you can store your campaign all into the app. So if you're playing with people that are remote, maybe you're playing with your friend via Zoom, you guys can have things shared amongst your apps, so you can track things accurately through that. So that's a pretty cool option as well. So those are what I know that is going to be available in the update pack. Now, clearly, we go to the new content. They've got a suite of things that they're going to be showing as they're releasing this content. But I feel like if you already are a backer of Isofarian Guard, if you are a previous backer, you're already into this because the price at $39 is pretty sweet. So I suspect you're backing this regardless of what's going to be in the changes. But these are just bonuses for new backers at this point who get to see even more content and stuff added to their gameplay. So let's take a look at the rewards then and talk about the pricing of this game. So first off, the base game coming in $180 is going to get you the base game of Isofarian Guard. The retail price they list at $220, which would be their web store price. I can't say for certain. I've never checked the web store in terms of the pricing. I backed the original campaign, but I late backed it, so I got it in the middle area where the pricing wasn't the all-star price they saw when they launched on the original campaign. It was kind of that mid-tier pricing. And honestly, the price that we got on the original campaign and those late pledges was already incredibly valued for those people. People say this box weighs like 50 pounds. I don't know. I've never actually taken it off now than once I stored it on my shelf. It's heavy. It's a big, heavy box with a lot of chips and a lot of content. In fact, we can click on what's in the box and you can get an idea of the amount of content we're talking about here. So you're going to get the map of Isofarian, you're going to get these tokens for the guards, you're going to get a lot of different types of, these are dual layer player boards for each player, a lot of different map tiles for you to reference when you're going through different types of locations. You have a dual layered map for your city or your fort that you're going to be filling up. The campaign books are thick. It's a big, thick campaign book, as well as the reference books. Different types of gems and cubes. These are standard in types of games. Player trays from game trays. A lot of cards. You have two. If you sleeve your cards, you're going to fill up 2 of these volumes. I believe if you unsleeve your cards, it's going to take 1 volume. The other one will be empty. And then you're going to have 240 weighted chips. That was 50, but it's 240 weighted chips. There's a lot of weight. So when I talk about these kind of chips, obviously the closest comparison would be Chip Theory Games. It's the other company that does these kind of weighted chips in their games, and they have a very similar price to their games that are similar size, 180. You can take a look at the Oblivion, the Elder Scrolls game. Would be for a easy comparison in terms of the amount of content. And now here you're going to get all the different cards. You have 688 enemy AI cards, 55 armor cards, 44 accessory cards, 75 stone bound abilities. These are the ones that you're going to like gem into your abilities. 61 weapons, the mining cards, harvesting cards. There's just so many cards. 64 guard ability cards. So there's a lot of content and a lot of stuff inside this box. So for $180, I still think we're getting a pretty stellar deal overall. But what other pledges do we have? So for $200, you can get the base pledge, but add in that foreteller. That is going to be a cost association if you think it's worth it to have a narration for you. You can assume there's about 10 hours of total narration. Let's see, actually, they talk about it. So here I found the Isofarian Guard foreteller option. So here you have 15 hours of audio narration and about 10 hours of the orchestra. We'll figure out how to speak English one of these days. Music added to this experience with the foreteller app. So you could compare that price to Audible and see if that's something that is comparable. I think it is. If you were to buy an Audible book, those are like $10 to $15 to $20. And this is also giving you that theme music to enhance the gameplay experience. But again, it's up to you guys to evaluate that price for yourself. So now we've got the gameplay bundle. This is going to be just gameplay components to help you play, which is just adding in that neoprene mat, which is 25 by 30 inch double-sided mat. So you can flip this over. There's a secondary side to this as well. I like the look of the playmat. I don't personally own it at this point. I might consider getting it in the Pledge Manager. You also have the all-in bundle for $275. This includes the Sleeve King sleeve bundle. I did pick these up. These sleeves have worked fairly well for us. And then you have the purple limited edition bag. I'm not sure if I got a limited edition bag. I'd have to check to see if I got that or not. You have limited edition foil cards. I don't believe that was in the original campaign. I never got anything like that. You got the audio narration and the neoprene playmat as well. So here's some stuff to jazzercise your game, make it a little bit more interesting for you. You could also pick all these things up in add-ons if you want to just get the previous pack, if you were a previous backer, and then click whatever you might want to include in this. Now, they did mention that there was going to be a sleeve bundle for returning backers. I don't personally see that here right now, but if you're a returning backer, I believe they should have a sleeve bundle to sleeve the new cards that are going to be added to the game. So the next thing we need to talk about as we wrap up our discussion here is shipping. They're going to be doing a $50 flat fee shipping anywhere in the U.S., not including Brazil, Russia, and Ukraine. So unfortunately, those locations are too chaotic for them to ship to reasonably, so those are removed from the list. Otherwise, it's going to be $50 USD to anywhere in the world. So obviously that means they're going to be subsidizing some of that shipping costs, because some of those shipping costs are cheaper for some countries, some are more expensive for others, and they're just going to kind of level them out, spending some extra for themselves, also helping from the other people who are cheaper. Now, the thing to take note, this is a customs friendly package, but that does not mean that VAT will not be added on. VAT will be charged in your pledge manager. So if you are a country that collects VAT taxes, be aware that you are going to have to pay that VAT, which will be assessed by GameFound in the Pledge Manager. If you're doing anything that's not the gameplay, so if you're doing like say the playmat and the add-on pack, it says here it'll be 10 USD. I'm not sure. That seems like a fairly good price for all the stuff that you'll be getting in the add-on pack, as well as like playmats and whatnot. But expect potentially up to $10, so that's cool there. And this is finally part of the stable pledge program, so they're basically guaranteeing that this product will not be more than 10% of what is already listed here. Otherwise, you can get a 100% refund on your product. So that is Isofarian Guard. Let's talk about my final thoughts on this game. Overall, I've been super hyped to play Isofarian Guard. When I found out that there was going to be a reprint with additional changes and fixes, I paused my game that we were going to dive into because I was like, I really like to have all those fixes and changes for my campaign. Now, there's a lot of content here. There's over 100 hours worth of gameplay content inside Isofarian Guard, and I want to really experience all the new content with it. Overall, the gameplay looks fun and engaging. I like the way that you're drawing the bag token, your chips from your bag, assigning the different spells and combos, and then those cards will flip over, so you're going to have different types of stuff that you're going to comboing against your enemy and trying to find unique ways to defeat it. I think it looks really cool. Now, will that hold up for 100 hours? I don't know. I haven't played it for that much, so I can't give you a guarantee if the gameplay system will carry on that excitement level for over 100 hours of gameplay. But what I do know is what people have told me in terms of the campaign story and narration aspect, that it really does do a good job of carrying you through the story that you want to keep playing over and over and keeping you entertained and energized within the system. So I am very excited about this game. I think it's going to be an incredible system. I'm so glad that they came back to GameFound, giving people an opportunity to pick up this title, because it's most likely not going to be reprinted, at least for a while, because Sky Kingdom Games is going to be diving into more of the story and the realms that are part of this world that they're kind of building up. So I'm excited to see what they're going to come out next. So if this is something you're looking for, this might be a while until you see another potential reprint. So that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this type of content, please remember to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button to help me with the YouTube algorithm. And as always, if you really truly want to support me, we have a Patreon, we have a Discord. All the links are in the description down below. But other than that, I want to say thank you for watching, and I will talk to you very soon.